Welcome to this new Flight Simulator update movie. World Update number 10 has just been released and it will take place in the United States. There were several rumors that it would take place somewhere else, but it looks like that Asobo went back to the US and updated a lot of these things. First of all, it updates the simulator version to version 1.26.5.0, which means that there are also some fixes for the simulator itself, so let's keep our fingers crossed. If we look at the general section, they added multiple languages, Latin, Spanish and simplified Chinese. They fixed some issues where you could experience crashes when the internet connection was completely broken. And they updated the RAC cycle to 2206 to have the latest navigation data. They improved the long-range visibility of the windsocks and they fixed searching of the point of interest in a world map that was not working anymore since the last update, if I'm correct. Then, of course, they added a lot of things to the US because it's the US update, right? First of all, they did fix an elevation, or they updated the elevation data and the aerial imagery for the US, and they updated 3 airports, both adding runways, terminal extensions, but also buildings. So this part is the mandatory part. Now you've got the optional part, which is also the optional update, which you can install via the marketplace. So there are photogrammetry cities and areas of interest: Albany, Arlington, Boise, Charleston, Disney, Kisama, Windermere. So they updated Disney. Probably someone is sponsoring this world update. Eugene, Key Largo, I should say. Lansing, Lynchburg, Olympia, San Diego, and Seattle. That took a long time, right? Because it's, I would say, a US-based company, and I would say Microsoft is pretty close to Seattle. Then they added 4 handcrafted airports: Catalina Airport, Valdes Airport, Lake Tahoe Airport, and Block Island. And then we will come with an extensive list of point of interest, right? So I will not go to them, but I will simply pick a few out of them. You've got the Arlington Memorial Bridge, you've got the Cecil B. Day Butterfly Center, you've got some historic parks, some musea, again a gallery, Peaks and a Dragon, San Antonio Missions, Smithsonian Arts and Industry Building, and of course the National Air and Space Museum, right? Because that's where the video took place from the Xbox stream, which took place earlier this day. Then going down, you've got the US Department of Agriculture Page Show, the USS Alabama, so they added a ship, and the Washington National Cathedral, and of course also boost trips, landing challenges, and discovery flights. So the boost trips are taking to the Appalachians, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, and California and the Megapolis. The landing challenges will be in Income, Atlanta, and Tullamarine. It's not mentioned if they're in which section they are, so we will find out in a few minutes. And then there are discovery flights for the Grand Canyon, Seattle, and St. Louis. So a lot of things have been added. Keep in mind that this part is the general update and then the rest is the optional update. So let's jump to how you can install the update. So the first thing you need to do is you need to go to the store, right? So in the store you will find all the updates, including the update. You can see that this one has been updated a few minutes ago. Once that has taken place, you can open Flight Simulator, and you can do that by simply going to Flight Simulator. Start it, then we'll sign in, and then of course it will start, I would say, prompting you that there's a new update, because it needs to update the generic piece which I just showed you in the release notes. It looks like that based on that, well, I'm really guessing how many data it will be, but it doesn't look like a really big update, that piece. The world update itself could be probably pretty big because there's a lot of things being added. So Flight Simulator loads, and then we'll say, hey, I detected an update. Once it checks the update, because it first will show the videos. So to me it came as a surprise that the US, right? I would say, aware that the US was not fully ready. But they, to be honest, I expected they would go to the Asian part or to Asia Pac, or that would say that piece of the world. But they went back, also not to Canada or something. Also really surprising. So there's probably a good decision to move back to the US because it still deserves some update time. So this is what it is, right? So it requires 500, it's 5 gig. So, well, let's click update, right? There's nothing we can do because else we can't start the game anymore. It will download a lot of updates. You can see that it also updates the tutorials, right? Because there were probably some issues with the tutorials, the IFR, nav, the climb and descent one. And that's what you can easily recognize when looking at these names, right? So also the nav, the NDB one. And you can see it goes pretty fast in my case. So hopefully in your case it also goes really fast, right? You can see that the download is 2.6 gig, but the installation itself is 5 gig. So this will take some time. So I'll pause the recording, and once the recording or once the installation is completed and we're in the main screen of Flight Simulator, I will continue the recording. So the first part of the update has been installed, right? So you can see already some changes here. One of them is the, I would say, right corner. In the right corner, yes. There you've got the marketplace, because this is only the first part which you need to install, right? So you can see that it already started downloading some other updates, so that's good. But for now we need to go to the marketplace because actually nothing has been installed, at least not for the world update. So if we go down, we can see that the new release is already there, right? So we can click it and then we can, say, get it, or we can get and download it. You can see that it requires 12.8 gigabyte of disk space. It's 5.6 gigabyte download. So again, I'm not gonna record this completely because it doesn't make sense, right? So this will probably take some time to download depending on how many people are downloading the stuff. In some cases it goes really fast, in some other cases it will simply take some more time, unfortunately. The good thing is that you can still have a look at the beautiful pictures below, right? You can see all the nice things which have been added. Nice airport, some bridges, always popular in those world updates, some musea, some churches, some lighthouses, some special buildings including churches, and then again some special buildings. And if you scroll down, you can also have a look at the pictures below, right? Because there are far more pictures, including the Navy ship, right, which we discussed. I'm really looking forward to that, to see where it is. Looks like a huge dam here. Oh. So that's it. So you can see download progresses slowly. So one of the other things which I would like to mention is that there's also, of course, a new aircraft, the Beechcraft Model 18. That one is also released as part of this world update, right? It's the local hero. This one is not free compared to the world update, because the world update is for free. So if you want to buy this one, or want to have this one, you need to, let's say, pay for it. But yeah, that's at the end, it's up to you, right? If you want to do that. So let's go back to the progress bar to see how far we are. Let's get to the marketplace in this case. Or we can go, probably it's better to go to the content manager, because in this case the content manager will show us how many time or how much data is available. You can see that besides that, there is also some other stuff which needs to be installed, right? So this one is still downloading, but you can also see that the other packages did receive some updates, right? So the update or the items shown here, not specifically, but for example, this one still requires it. I'm also not sure why there are so much updates available. Oh, here it is. I overlooked it. Yeah, every package, right? So almost every package received an update. That's also pretty cool. So let's filter on those. And let's also install them, right? Whoop. This is not what I wanted. Now I need to go back. Content manager. Updates available. Oh, now I can see the individual packages. That's also interesting. Right, so this is, I would say, the update itself, and this is the individual items which have been updated. That was not something I knew, right? So let's go to this list, right? So it looks like that both the Boeing and the Beechcraft Baron G58 received small updates. Then there are several other ones, like some other airports which received updates, including Discover Iceland, Norway and Sweden. They also received some updates. Some updates for the Italian and Portugal and Spain updates. Then, of course, the other aircraft, the Cessnas. Some Discovery flight updates. The airport is already mentioned. Landing challenges. So you can see that besides, I would say, the things which were mentioned in the release notes, there were several other things which are fixed. So simply select all and then press install. But you can only do that once the other update has been installed. So keep that in mind. I will pause the recording for now, and then we'll continue the recording once I would say everything is installed. So after a lot of gigabytes downloading, it has finished updating everything except one package, but I do think that once Flight Simulator restarts and I will retry again, it will work. So let's see what has changed, right? Nothing has changed here, right? So the Maverick activities are still there. So let's have a look at the other activities, because there should be some new things here. First of all, the Discovery flights, right? So the Discovery flights, Mount Everest, was already there, but it's also not in the US. Then we've got New York, and then we come into the world update section. We will see San Francisco, we see Yosemite National Park, we see, what do we see more than that? Grand Canyon, that's a new one. Then we've got USA, St. Louis. That's also a new one, right? So those are new. Other than that, Monument Valley, that's also a new one. So we've got 4 new ones, right? So these are the 4 new ones. So you can, let's say, fly now nicely above Seattle or St. Louis, right? So using the Cupcrafters X Cup. So really nicely have a look at it and enjoy the flights over there. Besides that, we've got some other stuff in the landing challenges. So in the landing challenges, always a challenge where to find them, right? Because some of the landing challenges I haven't completed yet, but normally there should be a new flag. If there's no new flag, it's in most cases it's not, I would say, new. So let's see. In this section, I couldn't find one. So here we've got something. Do we get something new here? Well, we've got this one. Still right, that's a new one, 100%. Can still remember the name. And then let's go to Strong Wind to see what we've got there. Skyline, I think this one is new. And Nawalek was also a new one. So there are few new ones. Really nice to see that they added those landing challenges. Besides the landing challenges, of course, we've got the bush trips. And the bush trips are longer trips, right? You can fly for a longer time. These ones are marked all as new, but believe me, they are not all new because it has to do with the some of them I didn't try yet. These ones are updated because you saw the additional update which I installed. It was roughly 2 GB, which I need to install from additional updates, which were not mentioned in the release notes. We've got the California Dreams. That's a new one. I think North. No, this is Canada. Then what do we have here? It looks like this one is new. The Northeast Megapolis. Other than that, Georgetown. No, this is Australia, so it's not new. And this one, the Breckenridge to Mariposa Yosemite, although I'm doubting because there's no new label, so I don't think that this one is new. But I would say a few new ones, I think 3 or 4, which we read in the release notes, so that's cool. Other than that, right, there's nothing much here. So let's go to the world map. And the world map has probably received a lot of updates. You can also always recognize them with the exclaimers, right? You can go to the legend, and the legends will show you if it's new content. And you see several new content pop-ups. So both, I would say, on the east and the west coast. So here we've got the Pilgrim, Bonham Lighthouse, Beavertail Lighthouse Museum. And then if we zoom into Washington, we also see some new point of interests. We've got Stephen F. Udvar-Hazy Center. And we zoom in further, we have tons of point of interest here, right? So you can fly over this nice grass mound, right, which brings you eventually to the United States Capitol. And of course the memorial, and then we've got the World War II memorial here. We've got the Washington Monument here. So there are several things which they have updated. So that's really cool. The Arlington Memorial Bridge, and then you've got the Lincoln Memorial, but that was not new. Did they update the White House? It says here that they updated the White House, so wondering what they did update, but it looks like that they performed an update on that. So going further and further down the line, I think what I saw here is another lighthouse, the National Memorial for the White Brothers, Biltmore Estate. So enough to fly and to try. St. Petersburg, Sunshine Bridge, the Bok Tower Gardens, Patrick Air Force Base, Kennedy Space Center also received a new update according to this, but I'm doubting. And then we've got Pegasus and Dragon. That one was one thing I saw on the release notes. For Jefferson, that was also one. Then on the south coast, we've got a few including the USS Alabama. So if you want to find the USS Alabama, you need to go to the southern part of the US, and there you'll find it. Continuing our trip to the west side, we see multiple ones still in the center, but here, and this also is a lot of concentration where you see a lot of POIs being added. Biosphere, Navajo Bridge, Glen Canyon Dam, then several lighthouses of course here, and bridges near San Francisco. And then continuing our trip to the northern part, right? So here we see the dams. We do see another harbor, right? This is Seattle, so Seattle probably received a photogrammetry update because there are not a lot of exclaimers here, so looks like a photogrammetry update. And then we all are already in Canada, and hopefully Canada will be one of the other ones which they will update, I would say, in the future. So zooming out again, you can see tons of POIs being added to the latest world update number 10. All these, let's say, items have been added to the US, right? Because that was the concentration of this world update. There are several, let's say, bush trips, several landing challenges, and also, of course, also several discovery flights. So here ends this video, because we completed everything which you could, I would say, discuss about this next world update. Now it's time for flying, so keep an eye on my channel for some new videos. Here ends this video. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, then consider to use the like button. If you've got questions or comments, then feel free to post them in the comment box below. And if you want to stay up to date about new videos I'm posting, then make sure that you're subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.